Alright guys, my name is MetaGoblin. Today is making a very quick discussion video about why I've decided to play Priest in Classic WoW and why I think it's definitely a great class for you to also give a go. When I've actually played the class in a lot more depth, I'll probably remake this, well not remake this video, but extend this video to like a top 5 reasons or top 10 reasons why I should play a Priest. So look forward to that in the future. But just before I jump in guys, please do give me a quick follow on Twitch. I am going to be streaming me basically leveling this Priest now. It's going to be very chilled out, cozy, immersive kind of role-playing leveling. I'm not going to, be rushing through it. I'm going to be leveling professions, going out of my way to discover secrets out in the game, secret quests, secret chests, everything like that. It's going to be a proper immersive exploration style of leveling. So yeah. So the first main reason that I've decided to play Priest is simply because of their basically leveling effectiveness and their ridiculous survivability. I actually think that Priests probably have the strongest survivability out of any other class in the game. It's definitely up there fighting against warriors and hunters. Warriors and hunters, they obviously are the fastest levelers, but when it comes to actual survivability, when it comes to taking down multiple enemies or taking down elite enemies, I don't think they're as good as the Priest, because the Priests have just so many different survivability abilities, particularly instant cast abilities like Power Word Shield, Renew, stuff like this. So they're able to top their health up so effectively, and they have really good healing, and then you have like sneaky buffs like Inner Fire, cooldowns like Desperate Prayer, depending on race you play. There's so many different ways to basically stay alive as a Priest, and they're really strong, particularly taking down elite enemies. I'm going to attempt to take down this elite enemy at level 11 just to kind of demonstrate basically what I'm talking about. I don't know how well this is going to play out, but we'll see. As you can see, I did actually have to cheese it in this video by basically kiting him to the guards, but nonetheless it was actually possible. But generally, when you are playing a Priest, you will find it fairly easy to take down multiple enemies. You've got so many different utility abilities which just make difficult situations much easier. Like Psychic Scream, a big AoE fear, which can sometimes be quite dangerous to use, but if you use it correctly, it will be like an absolute godsend and a life-saving ability. The point is, I'd say Priest, to be honest, I don't even know if they're a class that's easy to pick up. I think they're a class that's definitely difficult to master, but once you eventually start to master the class and make the extra effort to kind of perfect your ability and skill at playing the class, then you will become ridiculously strong. In that sense, because Priest is a difficult class to master, it means it isn't going to get boring quickly. Like, some classes are fairly easy to pick up and master, to be honest, but I think Priest is one of those more sophisticated and advanced classes which are going to keep you engaged and interested in the playstyle of the class for a long period of time. So it's a great class for those who are fairly new to the game, or even people who aren't new to the game and been playing the game for a while. If you're looking for a bit of a challenge, you're looking for something to keep you interested over a long period of time, for instance for the entire span of Classic WoW's lifetime, which is going to be a good 2 to 2.5 years, then I would say Priest is definitely a good option. But anyway, let's move on to some other points, because Priest have this really cool gimmicky ability that I want to talk about, and it's one of the big reasons I've actually decided to play Priest. So that gimmicky ability is Mind Control. Fortunately I can't show it because I'm not high enough level yet, but if you use Mind Control intelligently enough, it becomes a ridiculously powerful and 2 extremely powerful ability for a Priest to use. You basically almost become a raid boss in yourself, because if you use Mind Control properly, what you can do is, first of all, you control a certain mob, and then you get that mob to attack another mob, and by the time those 2 mobs have had a pretty substantial fight, they can get to pretty low health, both of them. But what you can do is use a macro to cancel Mind Control and basically just finish both of the mobs off. So you can very easily take down 2 elite mobs entirely by yourself, right? You can probably take on multiple elite enemies, to be honest, by yourself, if you're just really intelligent and kind of skillful and crafty about how you use the Mind Control ability. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, because I think it's a really fun playstyle, and you get a lot of satisfaction out of actually being successful basically in actually managing to take down elite enemies and complete elite quests all by yourself. So that is something I'm definitely looking forward to when I get to the higher level zones. The next big reason is I'm just really looking forward to actually playing a healer. So recently in World of Warcraft, I have, throughout the servers and that I've been playing, retail and, RAF servers, whatever, I have basically given the healer class or the healer role a bit more of a chance, because I don't know what happened. Like in my previously, I've always found that playing a healer is actually really boring for some reason, and so I don't know what changed. I think from playing different games like League of Legends back in the day and playing Overwatch and stuff like that, and playing healers in different games, I've kind of I've basically gained an increased appreciation and I guess desire, that's a bit of a weird word to use though, to play more support classes. You get a lot of satisfaction out of being a class that helps other people. So obviously other people are trying to optimize their gameplay, they're playing their DPS, tank classes, whatever, as best as they can, but you make their gameplay 10 times better by providing them with a little bit of extra support. And being a supportive role in an MMO or any just kind of game, I just find a satisfying way to play a game basically. And so yeah, I'm just looking forward to generally just playing a healer, because I think it's a really unappreciated playstyle to play in, MMOs and stuff. And most people do not give it a go because their mindset is different. But my mindset is just changed slightly, and I would give it a go, just trying out playing a healer, because it is very fun to play, especially when you're learning how to optimize your mana efficiency and your healing efficiency and healing output and stuff like that. And you're basically optimizing how best to support the rest of a raid, of the rest of a group, and I quite like that just that way of playing a game. And the last thing I'm probably going to talk about in this video is PvP, and basically talking about Shadow Priest spec, because I've been watching Shadow Priest spec a lot in dueling tournaments and stuff like that, and it looks like an extremely fun and powerful spec to play in, well, generally just in PvP. To be honest, Shadow Priest has always been ridiculously strong, and probably one of the least played classes, or well, just one of the least played specs in the entirety of World of Warcraft, to be honest. So Shadow Priest really is the proper underdog of World of Warcraft. I mean, if you did a survey of what spec do people play, throughout the time playing World of Warcraft, I'd say Shadow Priest is probably definitely one of the least played specs in the entirety of World of Warcraft's lifetime, despite the fact that it is actually ridiculously strong and fun to play. I've actually played Shadow Priest quite a lot on a Burning Crusade server back when Warmain did their Burning Crusade server, and I mostly played it in a PvE environment, which I really did enjoy, because again I like that support playstyle. And to be honest, oh nice, there's a chest over there. In the Burning Crusade, these kind of support classes are more fleshed out than they are in Classic, because the support classes in Classic just generally, through theory crafting and calculations, they've been basically calculated to be not that useful, to be honest. Whereas in the Burning Crusade, Shadow Priest and Ret Paladin and Shaman and stuff like that, they become much more useful in that support PvP, support PvE role. But anyway, that was a bit of a tangent. I do basically just want to try out playing Shadow Priest in PvP, because it does look really fun. Again, we were talking about it when we're talking about leveling, it's a spec that just seems to have a ridiculous amount of survivability, which is something I like, because in all honesty, the kind of the playstyle where one misstep and you're dead, I don't particularly like that much, in PvP anyway. I like playing games like The Witcher and Dark Souls and stuff like that, but in PvP I feel like those kind of classes where you don't have survivability and you don't have a lot in the way of basically keeping yourself alive, for instance a warrior, when you have barely any healing, I don't really like those classes too much in PvP. I like a little bit of survivability, and I like to be able to basically get beaten down but pick myself up. That's basically the playstyle of Shadow Priest. You get beaten down, but there will be a way for you to pick yourself back up with, because there's so many instant healing abilities like Renew, Power Word, Shield, Desperate Prayer, Cooldown, and so many things like that, which are basically really... Another thing I really dislike about, just playing World of Warcraft in general as a caster or a healer is basically getting kicked all the time and not being able to get a cast off. But I would say Priest, it's a little bit easier for Priest to get cast off, and there's basically a lot less headache with getting cast off for a Priest, because you've got these instant cast abilities, and you've got a Power Word Shield which stops your cast time from being increased by melee hits and stuff like that. So that's those unique selling points of a priest are another reason why I want to give priest a go and give it a spin, and why I would recommend other people to give the class a bit of a try as well. Let's look at what's in this chest, and we'll call the video a day. I think I've got auto loot on, and absolutely nothing apart from a cadet's bow, which is a bit disappointing. But anyway, guys, I think I'm pretty much going to end the video there. Short video today because obviously I'm basically going back to my hometown today and getting really drunk for New Year's Eve. I hope everyone else has a really good New Year's Eve and enjoys herself and gets drunk and has a good time. But obviously take it easy. Anyway, my name is Metagoblin. To my next video. Ciao.